Actually, making the album we just made is a total privilege. It's called Lightning Strikes Twice, and it was a result of a record company in Europe who had always been fans of my brother and my music, with Nelson contacting us and asking us if we could get in the headspace of making a record as if we were in 1992, 1993. The whole grunge revolution had not happened, and if we could get ourselves back in that headspace of when we felt incredibly confident. We were just coming off a 4 million selling album and a world tour, and then here we are 20 years later, almost to the day that we're releasing this record, and I think we really accomplished what we set out to do. We set out to make a seamless follow-up to our first record. A lot of things have changed, and I think it's really a good thing. This record was made using Macintosh software, a program called Logic, and it was also run through really old 1970s era gear, Neve modules and such. And Matthew and I are total gearheads, and we were able to kind of bring those two worlds together and make what I think is the best sounding record we've ever even come close to with this new record for Frontiers. This thing, to me, I put it in. I'm really, really pleased, and I can honestly say I really feel like I'm my own toughest critic. But on this, I know it's really normal for people to be in love with the last thing they worked on, but this actually really, it moves me. And I think that the first record, though, was incredibly successful, the After the Rain record. There were a lot of ways for me that it actually fell short sonically. We did the best we possibly could do back then. But right now we're actually able to take our vision and the songs that we hear finished in our hearts before we even start and really bring them to life. And I think we accomplished that on this record. Our fans really honestly are the best in the world. They're also the most patient fans on the planet. These folks have been waiting 20 years for our music. And Matthew and I never forget that every single day. The hardest thing for us to do after we made our first record, After the Rain, was being put on ice by our label back then for 6 years. 6 years we had to wait and watch our fan base go away. The only thing we can do is what we've done. We spent the last 20 years taking the music to the people, one show at a time. We play all the time, 5, 6 times a week. We're still out there playing. But getting together and making a Nelson record is really a special event for the two of us. And the most special part of that is being able to deliver in this record to our fans what we feel they've been waiting for 20 solid years. This is what they want. They wanted an essential Nelson rock record. And there's a lot of kinds of styles of music that we like. I mean, I live in Nashville, so I might have a little country flair to my thing, and Matt lives in LA, so he's got more of the modern rock sort of thing going on. But something happens when the two of us come together and we tap into not only where we come from, which is all the classic rock bands that we grew up with, from Boston, Bad Company, Queen, Foreigner, Heart, all those great bands, to the bands that are out there today that touch on greatness. It's all synthesized and distilled into a sound that I think only we can deliver. I think when you listen to this record for 15 seconds, you'll know it's us. And that's kind of the philosophy we had when we first made our first record. You're flipping through the channels. As a fan, you've got 15 seconds maybe to get someone's attention. We've actually had a departure, or taken departures over the years from our different records. We've made country rock records, we've made heavy records and all that. This is Nelson at its best. This is what we do. And I really think that as a listener, as a fan, if you liked the first record, you're gonna freaking love this record. This is not something that is a copy of the first thing we've done. This is what we would have done had we had the chops that we now have, had we had the skills in the studio that we now have, the technology that we now have, and the support from a label that we now have. All of those things came together, and I really honestly think that in this case, lightning really did strike twice.